The night, my phone, would not let me sleep. It was an ordinary night. Nothing special, nothing strange. I came home tired from work, the kind of tired that makes your body heavy and your mind quiet. I didn't feel like talking to anyone or doing anything. I ate quickly, washed my face, and went straight to my room. I lay down on my bed and picked up my phone, scrolling through random videos, just trying to relax. The fan was spinning slowly above me. The room light was off. Only my phone lit my face. I remember checking the date for no real reason. August 17th. I told myself I would sleep in 5 minutes. I never did. At first, the sound felt normal. So normal that I ignored it. A scream, very far away. I thought it was part of a video. I paused my phone and listened. The room was quiet again. I unlocked my phone and kept scrolling. A few minutes later, the sound came again. Closer this time. Not loud, not sharp, like someone screaming but holding it back. I sat up slowly and looked toward my door, then the window. The sound stopped. I told myself I was tired, that my brain was playing tricks on me. I lay back and stared at the ceiling. Then it came again. This time, it didn't sound far. It sounded like it came from outside my house. I walked to the window. The road was empty. No cars, no people, just yellow streetlights and long shadows that didn't move. Everything looked normal. Too normal. I tried to sleep, but the sound stayed in my ears, repeating softly like an echo trapped in my head. I couldn't sleep. My throat felt dry, so I went downstairs for water. The time was 2:37 a.m. The house felt colder and quieter than before. When I reached the stairs, I heard a soft tapping sound coming from the basement. It stopped when I froze. I remembered the construction next door and forced myself to move. In the kitchen, as soon as I grabbed the water bottle, something heavy crashed in the basement. The sound shook the house. I stood there shaking, knowing I should go upstairs, but instead I walked toward the basement door. As I reached for the handle, I heard my name. Not loud, not clear, but it was my name. I opened the door. Darkness filled the basement. I turned on the light. Everything looked normal. Boxes, old furniture, nothing broken. I checked every corner. Nothing was there. As I turned to leave, I heard footsteps running upstairs toward my room. I ran up, but my room was empty. The door was open. Nothing was moved. I sat on my bed, shaking, trying to understand what was happening. Then, my door slowly moved, just a little, like someone opened it and stepped back. When I opened it, no one was there. That's when the scream returned. Not outside. Inside the house. I rushed downstairs and opened the front door. Nothing. As I turned back, I saw a tall shadow standing halfway up the stairs, watching me. I whispered, "Who's there?" It faded away. Moments later, the doorbell rang. It was 3:04 a.m. My sister and her husband had come early to pick me up. When they saw my face, they knew something was wrong. I told them everything. Then we heard crying from the basement. Low, broken, sad. The sound stopped suddenly, and my phone vibrated in my hand. There was a video recording, time-stamped 2:31 a.m. I pressed play. The video showed my dark room from a strange angle. Then the sound played. A scream, my scream. A shadow stood near my bedroom door, watching. Then, the video ended. The house went silent. Too silent. From upstairs, we heard slow, heavy footsteps coming toward the stairs. We ran out of the house and never went back. Weeks later, the video was gone, but the date remained. August 17th. And sometimes, late at night, while scrolling on my phone, it vibrates. No notification, no message, just a scream, recorded, waiting. Our distrust is very expensive. After that night, I didn't go back to the house. I stayed with my sister and tried to live normally, or at least pretend to. I went to work every day, talked to people, and acted like nothing had happened. I kept telling myself that the fear was over, that everything I experienced was just stress and lack of sleep. But no matter how hard I tried, something felt wrong. It felt like I had brought something with me when I left that house. I started using my phone like before, scrolling late at night, trying to distract my mind. But my phone didn't feel normal anymore. Sometimes the screen would turn on by itself, lighting up the room with no notification and no message. I would stare at it for a moment, then lock it again and place it face down, convincing myself it was just a glitch. Still, it kept happening, always when the house was quiet and everyone else was asleep. 3 nights later, while I was scrolling in bed, my phone vibrated. Once, then again. A notification appeared on the screen that made my heart beat faster. Gallery updated. I hadn't taken any photos or videos. I sat up slowly and opened the gallery. There was only one new file with no thumbnail and no duration. Just a date written beneath it. August 17th. My fingers felt cold as I pressed play. At first, the screen was completely black. Then I heard breathing, slow and heavy, like someone standing very close to the phone. Slowly, the image appeared, and my stomach dropped. It was the basement from that house. The camera was moving down the stairs, shaking slightly, as if someone was holding my phone in one hand. The basement light turned on, revealing the same boxes and old furniture I remembered. Nothing looked disturbed. The camera stopped moving, and for a moment there was silence. Then the crying started. It was low, broken, and sad, exactly like the crying we had heard that night. The camera slowly turned toward the corner of the basement, and that was when I saw myself standing there. I wasn't moving. I wasn't blinking. I was just staring directly into the camera. My chest tightened and I dropped the phone onto the bed as if it had burned me. I didn't sleep at all that night. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw myself standing in that basement, watching. The next morning, my sister noticed how exhausted I looked. Her husband watched me for a moment and then asked a question that stayed with me all day. He asked if I was sure I had really left the house that night. I wanted to answer him, but I couldn't. The words refused to come out. That night, while lying in bed and staring at the ceiling, I heard something again. Footsteps, slow footsteps, inside the house. I held my breath and listened carefully. My sister and her husband were asleep, but the sound was clear. Step, pause, step, like someone walking carefully through the hallway. My phone vibrated in my hand. The screen turned on by itself and a live video was playing. The camera was showing my room, my bed, and me lying there. The angle was wrong, like the phone wasn't in my hand at all. Then I noticed something else on the screen. Someone was standing behind me, tall, still, watching. My body went cold. I turned around so fast my neck hurt, but there was nothing there. When I looked back at the phone, the live video had ended. The screen went black and a single line of text appeared. You never left. That was the moment I understood something I had been trying to ignore. Leaving the house didn't mean I escaped it. It only meant the house had found a new way to stay with me. After everything that happened, I stopped trusting my own mind. Days passed, but time felt uneven, like parts of it were missing. Sometimes I would check my phone and realize hours had gone by without memory. I tried to stay busy, tried to stay around people, but every quiet moment brought the same feeling back. The feeling that something was still following me. One night, while lying awake, my phone rang. Not vibrated, rang. The sound felt louder than it should have. I stared at the screen, but there was no number, No name, only an incoming call. I didn't want to answer, yet my hand moved on its own. When I put the phone to my ear, I heard breathing at first, slow, deep, and familiar. Then a voice spoke. It was my voice. It said my name softly and whispered, "You left something behind." The call ended. My heart was pounding. Seconds later, my phone lit up again. A live location was being shared. The map opened by itself, showing a moving dot. The dot was inside my old house, deep in the basement. I tried to turn the phone off, but it wouldn't shut down. I tried everything. The dot stopped moving, and a message appeared on the screen. "Come back and finish it." I didn't tell anyone. I convinced myself I needed answers, that fear would never end unless I faced it. Late that night, I drove to the house. The street was empty. The house stood there in the dark, unchanged, like it had been waiting. As I stepped onto the porch, my phone vibrated again. "You're already home," the message said. The door opened with almost no sound. Cold air rushed out, carrying a smell I remembered too well. Dust, old walls, and something deeper that felt wrong. The door closed behind me without a touch. The house was silent, but it didn't feel empty. The basement door was open and the light below was already on. I walked down slowly. Each step felt heavier, like the house was pulling me inward. At the bottom of the stairs, I saw someone standing in the corner. It was me. Same face, same body, but different eyes. Empty, tired, and watching me without blinking. "You finally came back," he said calmly. I asked him what he was. He smiled and shook his head. "I'm not what?" he replied. "I'm when. I stayed here that night when you ran." The lights flickered. My phone slipped from my hand and hit the floor, recording everything. He stepped closer and the air became thick, hard to breathe. He told me that when I left the house, I didn't escape. I left behind my fear, my exhaustion, and my weakness. The house needed something to hold on to, and I gave it that part of me. I tried to move, but my body wouldn't respond. The walls felt closer. He leaned in and whispered, "Only one of us can leave." The lights went out. When I opened my eyes, I was lying in bed at my sister's house. Morning light filled the room. My phone was on the table, silent. No calls, no videos, no messages. I told myself it was over. But later that day, I noticed something was wrong. I felt calm. Too calm. Empty, in a way I couldn't explain. That night, my sister said she heard footsteps in the basement and asked if I was okay. I smiled and told her yes. In my pocket, my phone vibrated. A message appeared. "Thank you for staying." That's when I understood the truth. I didn't escape the house. I traded places. The fear, the screams, the shadow in the basement, they didn't disappear. They moved. Now the house is quiet. The phone doesn't ring anymore. And every night, when the silence feels too deep, I realize why. The thing that was trapped there is free, and I'm the one who stayed behind, waiting.